This is the book Beat Depression by David Hinds from the year 2001. Chapter 23, Depression in People with Learning Difficulties. Words may be false and full of art. Sighs are the natural language of the heart. Thomas Shadwell, 1642-92, Psyche. The bottom line: I cannot express my feelings in words. My actions may have to speak for me. Some people, through no fault of their own, have special difficulty in learning to talk, in looking after themselves, and in coping with life in general. The problem for many people with learning difficulties is that they are not able to express their feelings easily in words. They have little option but to let their actions speak for them. Sudden changes in behaviour or mood, withdrawal, or not being able to do things they could previously do may be signs of depression. Unfortunately, it can be all too easy for the rest of us to forget that people with learning difficulties have feelings too. Although depression sometimes strikes out of the blue, the departure of a favourite and trusted carer can often trigger it. Sometimes one's loss can lead on to other major changes. For example, after parents have died, people with learning difficulties are often moved to emergency residential care. This means that they not only lose their parents and carers, but also their homes, their familiar possessions, and routines as well. It is particularly difficult for people with learning difficulties to cope with change, and this is often when depression sets in. They are usually willing to work through their feelings about unhappy events and come to terms with them, but they will need special care and assistance. Sadly, inexperienced carers often miss the early signs of depression, and a deeper depression develops. Charities like the Down Syndrome Association in London can be of tremendous benefit at times like these. They produce a range of invaluable leaflets for carers which have been instrumental in the preparation of advice for this chapter. People with learning difficulties are at risk of being neglected and physically or sexually abused because they cannot easily protect themselves or may not be able to tell other people what has happened. Abuse may lead to depression. If you are caring for someone who is vulnerable, watch out for the warning signs that something is wrong, listed on the page that follows. Guidelines to help carers recognise depression in people with a speech impediment or learning difficulties. Sudden or gradual changes in sudden or gradual changes in usual behaviour. Seeking assurance, avoidance of one particular carer, loss of familiar skills, loss of bowel or bladder control, loss of ability to communicate, outbursts of anger, destructiveness or self-harm, physical illness, complaining about aches and pains, wandering about aimlessly in search of something or for something unknown. The above guidelines are in addition to other common symptoms of depression, which include showing little interest in activities usually enjoyed, feeling tired all the time, no get up and go, eating too little or too much, isolation, difficulty in sleeping. A number of studies have indicated that background music can be helpful in potentially stressful encounters. For instance, in circumstances when someone with learning difficulties is about to be introduced to a new carer for the first time. Similar studies have also demonstrated that soothing background music can be helpful in encouraging increased verbal communication. The indications are that music of an appropriate nature can enhance the relationship building process, and carers may wish to encourage depressed people with learning difficulties to participate in the music therapy exercise in chapter 43.